Hi, in this video I'll be showing you this Candy Heat-Pump-Tumble-Dryer. The model number is the CHPH10A2DE80. There's no way I'd remember that model number. I'm not quite sure why they need to make it that long. Anyway, I'm going to be showing you around this tumble dryer, some of the features and benefits that it offers. Just before we start, I would appreciate it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just give us a quick thumbs up. What I do is I'll talk about household appliances like these. I do specialise in vacuum cleaners, and there's normally a bit of tech in there as well. This video will really cover two different models. First of all, there's this one, which is a 10 kilogram capacity, and then there is the sister model, which has an 8 kilogram capacity. Now, one difference that you can find, I suppose with any appliance as you go up in load sizes, will be the physical size of the appliance. Things like the width and the height are normally pretty standard. I'll just show you that. So on this model, the width you're looking at basically 60 centimetres or around 23.5 inches. And then the height of it, you're looking around 84 centimetres or around 33 inches. But the main thing that can vary is the depth of the appliance, so front to back. On this model, you've got, so on the 10 kilogram model, you're looking around 23 inches. So if you go into the very front, including the dial, then you're looking around 23 inches or just around 58.5 centimetres. If you just go into the front here, so the front lip, you're looking around 22 inches or 56 centimetres. So really, before buying any, I suppose it's any appliance, not just tumble dryer, just make sure it's going to fit in. Because as we take a closer look at the dryer, as you can see on the display, there's quite a lot on here. First of all, when you turn the dryer on, you'll notice that you've got a time remaining option in the middle here, or display. I must admit, I do like this display. It's nice and clear. Something I'll try and point out on my videos, because some manufacturers, the LED displays are not all that clear. As you go around the program selector, you'll see there's a really good range of different programs. On this dryer, it has got something called siemens-dryer. So rather than having to put the individual time of the program in, then what you do is you put the clothes in, and then it will detect how moist the clothes are during the drying process, and it will decide how long is needed for the drying to be taken. So personally, I think it's a much better way of going. I think the days of having to select the time on your dryer are long gone. Personally, I'd always recommend a siemens-dryer tumble dryer. So as a workaround, I'm not going to cover all the programs, just really to, I suppose, pick out some highlights for you. This first one is a super easy iron program, and the way that Candy describe it is that it's a comfortable solution to dry laundry of mixed fabrics, minimising folds, delivering the perfect humidity to iron in the easier way. Before drying, it's better to shake off the linens. Also, just to point out that it's only really these two programs, the cotton and the white, where you can actually dry a full load. The majority of the other programs, so things like the combi dry and a lot of the others, are either between 2.5 and 6 kilogram load. So although you have got a 10 kilogram capacity, which is actually really good, if you're going to try and select one of these programs, then you won't get the best out of the dryer, and it will take a lot longer than is stated on the display. So if you did want to dry, say, a 9 or 10 kilogram load, then you do have to select either white or cotton. As I was just covering, so you've got quite a few other programs. This one, the combi dry, the way that Candy described this is it's a new innovative cycle, so different kinds of fabrics at the same time. The dryer provides an alert when the lightweight fabrics are dry and ready to be taken out. So that's quite a good option. So if you are going to dry different fabrics at the same time, which personally I think a lot of people do, not many people have got time, especially if you've got a busy family or a big family, then you've not really got time to be sorting out, first of all, different colours and then different fabrics as well. You'd just be there all day. So that's why Candy have come up with this, the option of the combi dry. As I say, you've got another really good range of programs. You've even got things like the woolen program on here. The next program on here, the anti-allergy, but this one, it hasn't got a maximum load of 4 kilograms. But with this, it's a specific cycle that dries and at the same time helps to reduce the main allergens such as dust mites, pet hair, pollens and residue of powder detergents. So if you do suffer with allergies, then that could be a really good one to use. Then you go on to things like the refresh program. With refresh, it's a smaller load, so it's only 2.5 kilograms, but that can be a good one. If you've had something in the cupboard for a while, then if you just want to, I suppose, give it a quick freshen up, rather than washing it, just pop it in the dryer, and as you can see here, it's just a quick 20-minute refresh program. Then the last option on here is called Smart Touch. If you download an app called Smart Touch on your mobile phone or tablet, then what this enables you to do is to actually add extra programs into the dryer. And what Candy will do over time is they will introduce new programs to the app. Just using NFC, then it just enables you to, I suppose, enhance the drying experience that you can get. So there's a lot of features and a lot of benefits from all these programs, but all I'd recommend, once you get the dryer, just have a read through the instructions, because you could find there might be a program or two that might be really good for you. So I'll just run through some of the options along the bottom here. First of all, you've got the timed cycle option. So in theory, what you can do is you can actually add extra time onto the end of the program. Personally, I'm not too sure why they do this, because I suppose if it's a sensor dry, then at the end of the program it should get the clothes dry. But I think for some people, they just want that little bit of extra drying. And what this will enable you to do is if you press that, then as you can see, so it goes from 110, 140. So it's just really like a manual time drying, and it just adds 10-minute increments every time you press the button. The next option on here is the time delay option. And what that will do, if you've got things like Economy 7, where you've got cheap electricity during the night, then that just enables you to delay the start of the program. So that could be a useful option. The next option on here is the drying selection button. And for some people, you might not want it to dry fully, or you might want it to dry longer as standard, but still using the sensor technology. I know I mentioned about here where you can alter the time, but that's really a manual process. Now with the drying selection button, first of all, it will default to this. So you've got 4 different lights down here, 4 different symbols. Hopefully you can see those. Now the first one is the dry hanger, and what that will enable you to do is to take the clothes out or take the garment out, and it's ready to be hung up. So that's really, I suppose, the main one that people would do. Then the next option here, this is called dry wardrobe, and that's really so that laundry can be taken out and then directly stored, so stored straight away. Whereas on the dry hanger, that's really recommended, I suppose, to come out, be put on a hanger, and then leave it to air for a little bit. The next option here is the extra dry. That's where you can get it extra dry, so even though it might already be dry, then for some people they want to get just really increase the time of the program. And then at the other end of the scale, this is a really good one. This is called ready to iron, and as you can see, the times do change quite a lot depending on which option you've selected. But sometimes if you've tumble drying things like shirts or blouses or even some trousers, then you might not necessarily want them to be fully dry. You might want to leave them slightly damp, because you can find it can make them a lot easier to iron, or also you get a lot less creases if it's not completely dry. So that's the one at the bottom, and again that's called ready to iron. And then in the middle here you've got the rapid option button. So you've got 30-minute, 45-minute, 59-minute programs, so that's more of a manual time selection. Then the next option here is the anti-crease button. So that just really helps with I suppose avoiding creases within the clothes. That's a really pet hate of mine. Then you've got the start and the pause option. Now some people get confused by the pause. What can happen is if you've put everything in, and especially with a sensor drying program, say after 5-10 minutes it's detected how long is needed for the program, and it's working on that time. For example, if it said 2 hours, and what happens is if you go and open the door and try and put something else in, then it has to reset the sensor, and all you'll find is that it will take longer than the initial time that it said on the display. So if you can, just avoid just opening the program, and if you do need to open the door to put something else in, then press the pause button first, and all it does is it just doesn't reset the sensor. So now we've covered all the programs. As I say, there's quite a lot to talk about on this model as far as the range of programs. So as I mentioned earlier, when you get the dryer, just have a quick read through the instructions, because you should find there'd definitely be a program that suits your needs. I'll just turn that off a moment. When we open the door, you'll see that a traditional heat pump tumble dryer will have a water collection at the top. Being a condenser dryer, then clearly the water needs to go somewhere. Now you do normally have a couple of options. As I say, normally you have a water container at the top, but Hoover and this company Candy, what they've done is they've come up with this technology, and it's called water in the door. This is a brilliant design. It's something that does go down really well with customers. It just makes so all of the water is stored within here. I suppose a couple of benefits. First of all, you've got a handle on this side here, which makes it a lot easier to handle and a lot easier to carry, because when it's full of water, you can see how much water it can take in here. When it's full, then it can get quite heavy. The other advantage is that you can see the water level, so you're not clearly on all tumble dryers they'll have a little light on it that will show you when it needs to be emptied, and it will stop drying anyway. But at least you've got a good idea. You can see through the door the water level. So that just clips in at the front there. I really like that design. Also, you've got the filters just inside here, so they're just easy to take out. And it's important to make sure they're kept clean, because you can find that the efficiency of the dryer and the way it dries can have a big effect on how dirty or how clean the filters are. Then at the bottom here, you've just got the main condenser unit. If you just take those out, then you've got access to the condenser behind there, so it's just important to make sure that's clean. And you have got a filter on the front there. So again, just make sure they're kept clean, because as I mentioned with the filter up here, if you don't clean it, if you don't maintain the dryer, then you'll find that the drying performance won't be as good as it should be. Also, it can cost you more electricity to run it. Apart from storing the water within the dryer, clearly that's probably the most popular option that people are going to use. And then you just, when the water's full, you just go and empty it. The other option is you do get this hose with it. You can actually attach this to the back of the dryer, and if you've got a separate drain outlet, so if you've got this next to your washing machine and if you've got a drain outlet, then that just makes life a lot easier, because you're not having to empty the container itself. So again, that's included with it. Just have a look in the instructions, because it does show you how to fit it just around the back of the dryer. One of the final things to show you is the energy label on the dryer. As you can see, it's an A++ energy rating. I've not really talked a lot about the heat pump technology. It's something which a lot of people are going for now. With heat pump, the main advantage is that the energy efficiency and the running costs of the dryer are a lot less. I have done different videos. If you follow me on YouTube for a while, then you might have seen, but I have done different videos on I suppose the advantage of heat pump tumble dryers compared to normal condenser tumble dryers. So just have a look at that. I'll provide a link here. But as I say, on this one, it's an A++ energy rating, which means it's not going to cost you a huge amount to run. 282 kilowatt hours per annum. It just shows you the different things like proving that it's 10 kilogram load, the noise level at 66 decibels, and 305 minutes per cycle. Clearly that's going to vary depending on the load that you've got in there. So that's just, I suppose, an average for a load. If you're thinking of buying one of these models, either the 10 kilogram or the sister model, the 8 kilogram version, then I have provided a couple of links below to show you where to get them at competitive prices. I hope you enjoyed this quick video on the Candy CHPH10A2DE 80. Again, there's no way I'm going to try and remember that model number. As I said earlier, I'm not quite sure why the numbers need to be that complicated, but my memory is that great now. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video on this model. If you have, then I would appreciate it if you just leave the thumbs up, click subscribe on my YouTube channel, leave any comments below. I always ask for comments, whether it's good or bad. If there's something I've missed that you wanted to know about the dryer, then I've got one on display here. I can come and have a look for you. Then just pop it in the comments and I'll come and have a look. Anyway, thanks for watching.